Hello everyone, so here is the update that I promised you guys. So I'll get started. We're in the vivarium, which is 3 foot separated into 2, as some of you will know from my other videos. Nothing in that currently right now, but you know it's ready to, if anything does go in there. Right now we have my normal leopard gecko. Her name is India. I've had a bit of problems here and there with her since getting her really. One minute she eats and puts weight on, and the next minute she doesn't do so great. But I mean, she's not too bad. She is slowly putting on the weight, but it's not like a significant amount like I would prefer her to. She's just scurried off into a cool hide. It's just all the same stuff really. It's probably going to look like I'm doing practically the same video, but you know there is a difference in this time. So there's India. She's doing fine. She eats mealworms, standard mealworms. She's got calcium, which is just a milk bottle lid with the calcium in. All of my reptiles, they get calcium with multivitamins. I use this Exoterra calcium. Some people will say that it's not that good, or that they use something different. But I use this. I don't need a large pot. I mean, this is just a 90-gram pot of calcium, and I don't need a lot, because I give them calcium all the time, but they don't eat it all the time, so I can just sort of leave it there and refresh it every week or so. And I've only got 5 geckos to get through. So I'll move on to the next bit. There's Niles Viv. I'll show him off a bit later on. But right now, as you can see, my rack system, newly made, a lot better looking, easy to work with, heated up with this stuff here, which is heat cable, which is snaked all the way through, along up to about this way, about halfway, and then the rest is just the cool part. In the top, if I can try and get to him, this is a little bit high up really, but this is my Blizzard male that I swapped for. I mentioned in the video, the mealworm one. And there he is, a gorgeous looking boy. He's about 3 years old. He's definitely in the breeding mode, so he's choosing not to eat so much. He's a little bit mean and a little bit skittish, but he's not too bad. As you can see, the setups I have are fairly basic. There's kitchen roll as substrate. It's quite a tough kitchen roll. It's quite durable. Then they have their humid hides, which are plastic containers covered in black insulation tape, and then leave the black insulation tape on, leave it to aerate for a couple of days to get rid of that PVC smell, because I don't want anything to affect my geckos. And then I put the kitchen roll on the bottom, spray it, and leave it. And then you've got like food dish. These are very good food dishes. I recommend these. These are I think they're by Exoterra. I could be wrong, but I highly recommend you get these. They've got a lip, and the mealworms can't really get out. And they're not too high up neither. They're a good sized dish, so I really recommend those. So that's the male. They are in 32-litre tubs, and like I say, they're heated with heat cable that's snaked through. This one is my big female. Her name is Savannah. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting her to ovulate, and she's a little bit mean as well. If I go to stroke her, you see, she doesn't really enjoy being stroked too much, but she's a nice big size, and she's got quite a belly on her really, but she's fine. And she eats great. She's like my strongest. You know, she's the female with the best and strongest feeding response. Never had a problem with her the whole time that I've had her. She's around 3 years old, and she has bred before, but for some reason now she's against the whole idea and just wants to be left alone. I'm going to try different techniques to get her to ovulate. If anybody knows of any techniques, just post a comment saying what any ideas that you have. As you can see, setups more or less same: calcium, water, and the food dishes with the mealworms in. But that's, like I say, I'm trying to get her to ovulate, and hopefully she can breed with the male. But she's proving to be quite difficult, really. I can't quite get her to that point where she's gonna ovulate and breed. She's been a bit mean and a bit difficult, really. In here we have the albino female. Now, I mentioned earlier that there's a little bit of a story behind this female. I purchased her from the pet store, and they delivered her by their own courier service. The price was fairly reasonable. I wouldn't have argued with it. She's a very pretty gecko. I have no objections to how much I paid, etc. The only thing that I did find, as the day that she arrived, she was carrying parasites. The very day that she turned up, I put her in a new, fresh, clean, sterilised tub. And she went to the toilet the next night, and the same night, sorry, and there was a ton of parasites in there. They were sort of maggot looking. They weren't very nice to look at, really. I've treated her for parasites. They're all gone. There's no eggs. There's no chance of them coming back. But she's now having a bit of trouble putting the weight on. As you can see, she's very small, and she is still a baby. She's probably only about 3 or 4 months old. But I'm having a lot of trouble getting her to eat, getting her to fatten up. But she's a beautiful gecko, and I hope that she will do okay, and I have a lot of faith in her getting better and bouncing back. With a bit of luck, she can breed either later on in the year or next year. I don't really know for sure. It depends on, like I say, on how she does with eating and putting the weight on. And if she gets to a point where she's putting on weight and maintaining that weight, then I can then make my judgment on when I will breed her, etc. She's just gone to the back there. And again, basic sort of setup. You've got your humid hide here, which is also a nest box. But I thought I'd get her used to just using one of these anyway. She's not carrying eggs. She's definitely too small, and I'd never breed her at this age even. Even if she was to size, I still wouldn't breed her. Her weight may, if her weight was brilliant, but her size wasn't, then I'd wait for her to gain a bit of size first, so that the eggs don't cause too much of a problem on her internal organs. With a bit of luck, she can go into the breeding plans and produce some nice babies. She's got some beautiful eyes and some good colours going on. I'm very impressed with her. She should do fine after long enough of like fattening her up and giving her the right vitamins and calcium. I do fear that I may have to start the Reptaid medicine again. If I do, then it's no biggie. It's only a 5-minute procedure. I can get it done pretty quick. Moving on now, this is my baby female jungle. I don't know other hets, but she has the normal eye, so I assume that she's just your average jungle. A very beautiful gecko. I don't have any objections. I just have to pop you there for a second. This is something that I need 2 hands. As you can see, she's at her mealworms. For a little girl, she eats quite a lot, really. Can't really argue with the amount of food that she eats. Quite happy with that. But she's shedding great, putting on weight, putting on size. And there she is. The light doesn't do her any justice really, because she's a lot more beautiful than this. Like I say, the light that I've got right now doesn't do her